Book. Okay. What's going on today? It is December 11th, 12 p.m. Central. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law, helping you secure your legal status to live and work in America legally. Go figure, right? So we're trying to do what the conservatives want us to be, get legal status. So you can welcome to drop down your question in the comment section. You're welcome to share your experiences, especially if you have joined the show before, tuned in, and maybe I pointed you in the right direction a little bit. Maybe I shared some insights with you. Please tap the screen or click down below the like button. Okay, greatly appreciate it. All right, so I typically have like a topic of the day, um, but you're still welcome to ask questions, even if it's not related to the topic of the day. So, this whole thing with Luigi has been accused. All right, he's been arrested. All right, this whole United Healthcare situation, and I try to think like, how is that somewhat? What can we take from that kind of scenario, and can impart with apply that to immigration law? So, just generally speaking, in criminal law, there's innocent until proven guilty. In immigration law, it's different. It's actually you as the applicant need to prove your case that you can be approved. So obviously it's a different context. Immigration is civil, but even in civil cases, if it's a lawsuit, you have to prove as a plaintiff, prove that you'll win your case. So it's a little bit different in that sense. There's different standards of evidence. And I'll see if I can pull it up on YouTube and YouTube here. Let me see here. Let me pull it up. Standard of evidence. And we call that standard of evidence. Okay. Essentially, a burden of standard of proof. And I can share that on YouTube. So if you have questions about it, you're welcome to ask. Okay, here we go. Because some of y'all might be wondering, what the hell is John talking about? Essentially, like if you heard of people have been denied, like I hope this hasn't happened to you, but you may have heard about people get denied and you thought you had a good case. Like you were like, well, I'm married. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Isn't that enough? No, it's not enough. It's not a piece of cake, okay? And on in the books, by law, it should be quote unquote a piece of cake. But that's just not the reality, okay? And so what it says here, for those on TikTok, I'm sharing my screen on YouTube. So if you want to log in there too, you can. Not saying that you should get off the TikTok platform. Let's use it as much as we can until it's gone. But okay, here it says the standard. Let's see here. Where does it show? The preponderance of evidence. Okay. Standard approved does not apply to those application petitions where a different standard is specified by law. So the default is preponderance of evidence. That is the lowest standard of proof. So if you get denied and this is a bona fide marriage, it wasn't fake and all that, then I got a word of caution for y'all. You gotta need to get your shit together and hire an attorney. And if you had an attorney, you need to get a better one. Okay. That's the honest truth. Don't waste time. Don't daddle here, dabble there. Like, well, my attorney helped me. Help you with what? You got denial? Like, yeah, I mean, we don't have 100% record, but I mean, there could be situations, unfortunately, like USCIS thinks there's a they assume incorrectly that this applicant is someone else and that other person. So basically, misapplied identity. Okay, it's very unfortunate. Someone could be denied because of that. But if it's something that complete that's if that's out of your control, that's not on you. But if something's on you, one example, some of y'all don't have a joint bank account. And of course, marriage case is just one example. But let's just say employment cases. Some of y'all don't have your shit together with your business. And I shouldn't say I'm surprised because, over the years, I've been running my business for 12 plus years now. I've learned a lot. a lot more in the last 2 years than I had in the first 10 years. And really, because I've been, first 10 years, I was focused on practicing law, right? And so now I have a team. I have a much bigger team in that sense. We have more depth. Like if you think of a football team, I don't have that many team members, but we have depth to cover each other, okay, in certain situations. Um, so just to wrap up on this topic, I guess then I'm happy to answer your questions, is that if you have a situation that, especially if you have an attorney right now, and you get an R fee, you get a denial notice, but let's say you check online and today was the first day it showed up like decision mailed out. Like your attorney's not going to have access to that. Okay. We don't have access to your My USCIS account like you do. Unfortunately, we don't. I've tried to, we requested it. Other attorneys have requested it. They just don't have that situation set up for us, which is ridiculous. Okay. Um, but if you have an attorney, but they're not proactive, again, I'm not saying the attorney has to check online every day. We don't do that. We do like once a month, okay, for clients once it gets to a certain stage of the case. All right. But once your attorney has received the physical notice and didn't call you the same day, maybe not even the next day, that's a red flag. Maybe they're too busy for you. Maybe they don't have good workflow. Now, I'm not here trying to step on any attorney's toes. I meet attorneys, couple attorneys almost every day. We're trying to, build a network, professional network to help y'all, especially if you interview in a certain city. We're happy to share our referrals that we've established those relationships. But the thing is, like, you are losing time. If your attorney doesn't even schedule a meeting for you or invite you to a meeting, you're losing time. So if you understand, if you appreciate what I'm saying, go ahead and tap the screen and click the plus sign, follow, subscribe on your your particular platform. We greatly appreciate it. It's because RFE, for example, has usually 87 days to respond. Okay. By the time your attorney gets around to it, says, you know what, I think we need to schedule a meeting. It could have been a whole month already. Like part of our workflow as a business, we use standard operating procedures step by step. Okay. So in this situation for RFE, we schedule a meeting. If it was a denial letter, we schedule a meeting. It's like automatic. We don't have, back in the day when I didn't have systems in place, team members would ask me, what do we do, John? What do we do, John? We've got it all set up. We know exactly what to do. We got to take action. That's what you see on the screen on TikTok right there. Okay. Take action. I need to update that on YouTube. Um, Someone, it has a different character, so I don't know the person's name, but someone said on YouTube, "Hi John, I'm a client of yours and been waiting for your wife's interview since April. Any way you can waive the interview?" Unfortunately, no, that is not our option. If it was our choice, sure, we would love to waive the interview. Of course, well, not of course, but the past 2 or 3 years, our cases for marriage AOS have been about 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months when the interview waived, some at 12, but just average. But of course, with Biden, I mean, with Biden on the way out and Trump on the way in, it's likely, unfortunately for y'all, that, well, I wouldn't say unfortunately, we love interviews. I love going to the field house. Our attorneys love going to the interviews. Um, that's another way we can, of course, help you. But we prepare our clients, of course, before the interview. And so that's something to keep note of. All right. So what we do for the interviews is as soon as we get the interview notice, we send you a series of videos. They're not long, like long format, not like YouTube. Okay. But then after you watch those videos, then you schedule a meeting with your assigned attorney on your case. Okay. But by the way, if you are a client, you're always welcome. Honestly, on social media is probably the best way to get a hold of me if you want to get my insight. Okay. Of course, I trust my team um, to help y'all. But if you want to get my specific insight, you're always welcome to join a live show or post a comment here. Okay. Which reminds me, I'm trying to do better and record a lot more videos. There's a couple I need to record today. I just have so many meetings. Um, like medical exam, update on that, and a win. I can share a win real quick with y'all is that got a court case dismissed today. And you know what? Government attorney agreed to it yesterday. The case is in a different city. Okay. It's not like back in the day, I'll just walk it up to the court, drive to the court, walk it up. We use FedEx. We FedExed it overnight. It updated this morning. That's quick. And what we do, here's extra advocacy that some attorneys, I don't know if they do. I recommend it because we know that courts receive a lot of mail. We put on an envelope, hearing date was going to be this Friday. We put the hearing date December 13th. So they know, hey, if there's any envelope to pick up first, please, for the love of God, pick up, open ours first. So I have to make a pretty good assumption that's what happened because they literally get like hundreds of mail every day. Okay. Even a judge complained to me and said, Attorney John, don't you know that the clerks receive a lot of mail? Like, yes, Your Honor, I know. So we do everything we can for the clerk to be able to pick our client's mail first. Overnight this morning, signed this morning. I save my client money. If I can save you money from attending court, I would love to do that. Okay. Like if I can save you money from me having to travel, I would love to do that. My kids would love that. My spouse would love that. I can stay home. Okay. So that's the way we think. You need a law firm that is proactive. Now, let me answer some questions. All right. Hey, Roots and Routes. Long time. Yes. Do I think it'd be safe to travel second time with AP card? Yeah, as long as it's approved still valid. You got your I-130/45 moved yesterday from 10 months back to 3 months. 485 shows interview waived. Okay, so it actually shows waived for some of y'all on the screen on my USCIS. That's good to know. Can can someone screenshot and email that to us so I can make a video about that? And let me know how long it actually shows waived online or on your my USCIS account. I'm really curious because I know a lot of people want to know. Okay, it's 12:15. I'll be live for about 15 more minutes to kind of give you an idea. Um, to be honest, I'm not going to be able to answer everyone's question. I'm going to try my best. Okay. But go ahead and subscribe down below on YouTube. And if you're on TikTok, go ahead and click the follow or the green card guy's name and click follow because then you get the notification. I think you get the notification when I go live next. Okay. Greatly appreciate that so that I'm able to answer your question next time if I don't get it this time. All right. Let's see. And also about the whole RFE thing I was talking about or denial letter, you need an attorney that will take action and be ready, especially if you're thinking about switching law firms. But hopefully you have a good experience, okay, with your attorney. Let's see. Jahon D, you got approved for I-130 last week, and you got a letter yesterday to continue to document for the NVC. Yes. Yeah, so that's good. You got it within a week, the email. Usually after a petition's been approved, yeah, you get an email from National Visa Center of a new case number and invoice ID number. So those two numbers are very important so you can take the next step. So you might want to check your spam if you got a petition approved and you haven't received it, it's been 30 days. It's usually fairly automatic in that sense. Roots and Routes, yours been showing completed, but you didn't attend an interview. That's interesting. Well, Roots and Routes, if you don't mind, you can click that link that says ZAAP and click the email button. If you don't mind screenshotting what it shows, and of course, if you want to redact your receipt number and anything confidential, you're welcome to do that. It would greatly help me understand better what the hell it shows because, again, they don't give us access to that. It's really weird. The USCIS, I mean. Let's see here. Love hearing the great news that your all's petitions application are approved. I hope their USCIS is true to the word that the interview was actually waived, but I just don't understand how they can accurately do that, share the update. Thank you so much for your questions. I'm going to scroll back down so I can see it on TikTok here. Tez, they fire a lot of employees at Nebraska Service Center. That's what I heard. I haven't seen a memo or anything. Um, let's see. I was on live earlier today on TikTok, so some days I can go one time, sometimes zero times. So that's why again it's good to subscribe down below on YouTube or click the plus sign. It's been a while on you. It has been a while on YouTube. I've been, to be honest, focused on this platform right here. So it's just a lot to keep track of. Pauline, good afternoon. Is that when a child reach 18? The parent can't adjust to permanent resident. Um, it's 20. It's 21. So there's two ages to know related to children. If it's a stepchild type relationship, stepchild step parent relationship, that that marriage has to have occurred or adoption. It doesn't always require adoption, but the marriage had to have occurred before 18 years old. Now, but in terms of petition, that can be filed as long as before 21 years old. Of course, sooner the better. I don't know if that answered your question. Pauline, at what age does a parent have to file permanent resident for a child? It's not really a timing requirement. It's just more about the restriction on the max out the age. You can always file for a child, or it could be adult child. Just that it would just when the child becomes an adult over 21, then it would no longer be immediate relative at the time of filing. If that would be changed into family preference, which does extend the timing. Okay, significantly. So more or less, here on TikTok, it shows take action, don't delay. A lot of people contact us and say, the that they should have filed like 10 years ago. I'm like, God damn, if I was just right there with you. So here I am on social media. I'm I'm here as close as possible to tell you you gotta take action. This is regardless of Trump, really. But I mean, ultimately, Trump, hypothetically, he stated, well, I don't say hypothetically, he has stated he will make it more difficult. Okay. He's all over the place, right? So, which by the way, if you are, yeah, I'm going way too fast. If you appreciate what I'm saying here, please tap the screen if you're on TikTok. Okay. Really appreciate that. That's what my marketing team tells me. Let's get to 2,000 likes, hearts on TikTok if you don't mind. All right. Usually at night, if it's you're about to sleep, I ask you to tap the screen before you fall asleep. But hopefully, you're not falling asleep right now. Trying to keep this interactive with y'all. So let's see. Um, there's so much I have to share, but I realize, you know what? When I go on these, I don't want to call it a rant, but advisals, um, warnings in a situation like I want to help you avoid these immigration problems. There's a crap ton of problems that you won't know about it until you experience it, right? So that's why we try to. This live show thing is a full time job. All right. Okay, Ray, chill. Hubby and you filed end of October. Okay, a couple months ago, you already did biometrics, civil surgeon appointment. Good, great. Okay. Um, Speaking of surgeon appointment, there's a memo. Okay, I'm gonna record a video about this in case you forget what I'm saying. You need to get the medical exam results in a sealed envelope and file it, mail it with the main package. Don't mess around if you can help it. Don't mess around and have do the medical exam after you mail out the package. I'm honestly curious why people mail it like do the medical exam after. Like such in a rush to file it, but then here's the thing, because again, some of y'all don't know this situation. The real time insights says other people on the live show have told us in the comments or as a guest on the show, they say they're wondering, well, it's been 6 months since you responded to RFE with the medical exam. And you're wondering why is it taking so long? It's because USCIS, they don't have a workflow. I wouldn't say they don't care, but they don't have a workflow. Okay, the people working there, they're not this. Unless the leadership knows the problems with this, which they have realized the problems, so they're now telling you. It's been a couple of days since the press release. They said mail your effing medical exam results with the main package. Basically, do yourself a favor and don't mail it. Don't wait for an RFE. Okay, Beto the God, you got a tricky situation. That sounds like it might be better as a strategy session. Um, by the way, if you're on TikTok and if you don't see your comment, it's actually there. I don't know why, with immigration, they think everything's related to politics. Um, so they filter some comments, they hide some comments, but I can see it. Okay, as your cousin came here on a asylum 10 years ago, and he's been working to get his family to America. Okay. Um, okay, so that could be more of a strategy session, like paid strategy session to speak with attorney one on one, or you could join as a webinar. To be honest, the webinars are a little bit slower to roll out. I've had a couple, but we're trying to ramp it up. Okay, but those webinars are free. Okay, but if you're talking about your cousin and his family's abroad, there's other options. Here's the main couple options, real quick. Okay, you could start a company. Okay, the e-visa for trader visa. Aside from the more complicated phrasing, it to be as simple as possible. I would like to think of it as like a startup business in a sense. It could be an established business. You don't have to show that you have a business currently, but you can create a business in America. Okay, that's a simple explanation of that one. You don't technically have to have experience. There's another one called L visa. Okay, those are both non-immigrant visas, meaning it doesn't technically lead to a green card, but it's still possible. All right, eventually. It's another application. L visa, you own your own company. You can consider yourself an executive. Um, that also can help your employees and transfer them as an executive or a manager, or you transfer yourself as an executive. Okay. It doesn't mean you need to have a certain number of employees. Doesn't that does not require a certain amount of investment. That's the good thing. So you got to think outside the box. You need a legal team that helps you have these strategies ready for your family, okay? Because might not be an option to bring your family through the family base, okay? It might be through a company perspective, that kind of non-immigrant visa. So if you appreciate that, you're interested in that, go ahead and click on option number two, pay strategy session in my link or down below on YouTube, or just sign up for the free webinar. Okay, there's certain topics there. Rhythm, yours been pending for 12 months. Shin Willie, yes, we do accept RFE cases. If your case, look, a lot of y'all may have filed your case yourself. Everyone's got a different budget. You might have thought, oh, this is easy. This is a piece of cake, a walk in the park. Okay, it's not. Okay, maybe for some of y'all, but you get an RFE because here's the deal. These USCIS officers, some of them are rookies. I put a quotation because we really don't know. But when we look at it, it's like, that is not even our client's name, but the data inside the letter is about our client, or vice versa. It has a client's name, but the data inside is not even relevant to our client's case. So these officers really they do our clients dirty. Some cases, not every one of them, but some of them. So that's why it's really important to have an attorney. Peace of mind. Okay. So yes, we do help with cases towards the middle of the case where we take over and help respond to the RFE. Thank you so much for asking. Kuya, for y'all who are international students in America, can you waive the 2-year rule? Do you mean 2-year rule because of J visa, or are you talking about something related to F1? Rhythm, it's been 12 months, still actively review for you. I-130, you're a US citizen. How long will it take? Beto. Oh, I got my popcorn, just started reading questions. Um, I had to grab some popcorn because this whole thing with Luigi and the United Healthcare situation, there's been a lot of stories of it. People, sorry, little side. I hope none of y'all have a situation where our family member, your friend, coworker has a situation where insurance, God forbid, they deny your claim. It's very fortunate. TikTok, of course, sends you the feed of videos that you could be watching, and so I've been watching a lot about that. I've already known about it, but this is no joke. This is a real deal. I mean, my daughter is just share some personal stuff real quick, if you don't mind. My daughter is 6, and fortunately, there's no health concern. Okay, but I had with our own personal glimpse that she has an inhaler. Let's just call it brand A because I can't remember the brand names, but brand A, that's what we've been using for like a year. And then suddenly when we want to get the new one, get a refresh one, whatever you call it, they say, no, you got to use this other brand. You can't get the brand A anymore. And it kind of came to the effect of like, I don't remember the phrasing on the letter, but it was like a one sentence letter, like you've been denied, basically. It was like, what the hell? So I'm very fortunate it's not a very serious matter like many people have shared on TikTok, whatnot, or other social media platforms. But yeah, I got frustrated in that situation. So hopefully you don't have that situation. Beto the God, you've been turned down by 15 attorneys in your area. You don't know why. Well, you don't know why. That's not good because I don't want to blame it on attorneys. I don't want to blame on you, but we always try to think as a legal team, how can we better explain the situation? Okay. Some attorneys can think like, what's wrong with you? You can't read a denial letter? Sometimes a denial letter doesn't specify the reason. It just says it just glosses over like you're not eligible because you did not meet ABC. Like, okay, but we provided evidence, right? So it can be confusing. We acknowledge that. So we're happy to review if it was like a denial letter, for example. Cali Vax ASMR. Do I think Trump will stop 601 or 601A? No, I don't think so. But the thing is, like, those applications already take a hell of a long time. Do they do spousal interviews on N400 citizenship application? I think you're asking Lily on TikTok. Do they require the spouse to show up to N400 interview? No, thank God. One and done. Alina, USCIS sent you a letter that they have sent your case to NVC 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Did they just send you that letter? Like, what are you talking about? Well, hopefully nothing negative is happening in your case then, because that's quite a long time and now you just got notice? No, that's not normal. Unless it's possibly family preference. Well, it depends. It could be normal. It depends what the letter said. I'm sure it said a lot more than what you put on the limited character space here. Son Goraya, can you travel? I have no idea your context, so I can't just answer that question blankly. It's a good time for me to share with you. Okay, if you truly are stuck or you're in a situation, you could be stuck just even before you file your case initially. You could be stuck in the middle of the case, RFE. You could be stuck like your case got denied. We have a lot of people that contact us at an RFE stage and also when they get denied. And I just want to share with you, don't give up. You could also receive possibly, and I hope you don't receive, but a notice of intent deny. You might think by the way they phrase the letter, the content of the letter, that you have been denied. No, you have not. Do not give up. You still need to respond with more evidence, okay? Do not give up. It can be confusing how they phrase it. It's like they do this shit on purpose. Okay, let's see here. Gender, if you move to Canada, can you keep your property in USA? I don't know. I maybe. I don't know your situation. This is not an expat channel. This is for people who want to stay in America or come to America, which I do follow a couple of those expat channels. All right. It has been 12. Okay. Or now on TikTok, can I talk about transferring a file to a different state, city or state? Does it delay the process? Now, if you're talking about because you're moving, ultimately you're gonna have to update the AR11. You have to change your address online with USCIS.gov. They make it very easy. But if you're concerned, like you don't want to transfer because it could take longer, I mean, ultimately, it's probably just, I mean, I think just inherently it likely would delay it a little bit more, but there's no like fine line like, hey, you must submit change of address. So it's an automatic 5 year, 5 month delay. 5 year, I can't believe I said that. But there are 5 year delays on some cases like asylum, take a hell of a long time. And that's because of Trump's change of policy back then, 2016. Let's see here. But the other thing is because you don't want, let's say you kept your address the same and like, I don't know, maybe your friend lives there or something at that original address. But what if your friend doesn't update you? Like some of y'all have been like using the same original address, but what if your friend doesn't update you and that letter in the mail was an RFE? What if it's a notice of intent denied and you could have done something? What if it's a denial letter and you could have done something? So friends are helpful, but you can't if you're not paying your friend, you know, or whoever is watching your mail, yeah, you just can't expect them to always be on top of it for like a full year because you don't know when USC is going to make a decision in your case. So just something to think about. Okay, I just recommend updating your do the change of address form. Should take you about a minute. Will save a lot of trouble. Okay, I can answer two more questions. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Thank you so much for your questions. To be honest, again, I'm not going to be answering everyone's questions. So if you can, go ahead on your respective channel, follow, subscribe. Really appreciate it. And please watch a couple of my videos. Take a look um, on the platforms. We've created playlists for certain topics. Okay, so check those out. Helen at Talk. You received RFE recent tax. I guess that's what I asked for. 1 day late to 1 day late to respond. Oh man. Uh, do they count weekends? I mean, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I believe so. They count weekends. They don't count the holidays. You get the next day. If your deadline falls on a holiday, it'll be the next day. If your deadline falls on a Saturday or Sunday, it'll be the next Monday, for example. Um, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they count weekends though. And that's the thing. Like you might be wondering, like, well, how come John doesn't know? That's because we get our shit done earlier. Okay, I bonus my team if they can work with you sooner than later and get it mailed out like a month before the deadline. Okay, so we don't have to worry about like calculating dates and whatnot like that. Let me try to type in here deadlines. Um, okay, I think I found it. Well, it does what I found it does mention about the holidays, whatnot, or weekend. Let me. Regulatory definition of a day. Um, yeah, I would just default to say. So yeah, if you're who's this for? Helen at Talk. If you get a pushback, you get a denial letter. What we would do is still respond back and mail something back, and we call that nunc pro tunc. Like you should have been, as a Latin phrase, I think, that you should have been approved if it was acceptable, or if they accept your late filing. Okay, um, I've actually done at least one time where we knew the client told us they can't get the documents in a certain time frame, unfortunately. So requested for I think 30 more days, and it worked. You just never know. You got to ask politely. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for your time. I got to get to the next meeting for my team. Greatly appreciate it. And y'all have a wonderful day. Tap, tap, tap. Peace. Make sure you follow.